stuff that you don't need after. So like this. Then we want a public sprite for outlines. This is just if you're going to change outline color. So if you're not going to change outline color, you don't need this. Text health. So what we're gonna get here is that text health is like that little number that says how much health you have. Sorry, I forgot to do this. You want to always be using UnityEngine.ui. Remember, using UnityEngine.ui, that's incredibly important. And we want to make sure we're using a image for a health bar, our public image for our outline. Now we want a public mask, and this is just going to access our mask that we had. And this is going to be our HP, and that could be current HP, and then we also want a public float for our max HP. And that's just divided by, because what we want is we want a number between 0 and 1, and the way to do that is, if you ever know how to make percentages, you go your result divided by your max result, the max result you could get, and then you times by 100 for that test, so maybe 60 out of 100, so 60 divided by 100 times 100, that sounds weird, but like 60 divided by, I don't know, 69 or 74 or whatever, times 100, and they'll get you a result. So we're going to do the same thing, but we're not going to be timesing 100, we're just going to be dividing it. So just so we get that number between 0 and 1 that we can use as the local scale. So if you have 90 HP and you have 90 max HP, you'll have a local scale 1 because you're max. But the less you have, the less local range you have. I will say this, that any coincidence of this being similar to anyone else's is utterly coincidence. The reason I got an idea for this is I saw someone doing the same for, I was just looking around and we did that. It's kind of going saying, sorry if I like to do that a few times. We want text health. I like that, okay. Yeah. Then what's this? Text health. Oh, this is a string of what we're going to be displaying. I see, okay. So I said check for that. And we want public void update. Oh yeah, so going over, I saw someone who did the same for mask and say this is the way we can do it because I couldn't access the image, like, you know, the size of an image. And so I've been trying to do that for ages, and figure out how to access sprites. We have to do it through sprites, and sprite and an image is basically no difference. Yeah, it can convert a normal texture 2D to a sprite. You have to do it yourself. That's kind of weird because I believe. Are we running through? We're running through sprites, aren't we? Here we are. Okay. That was like, I just opened like Skype. So let me close it. Why are you opening Skype? I like close you down. Goodbye Skype. Goodbye. Okay. Gosh. And then so this is essentially what we're doing. So now let's just start writing some code. So if you're using a slider like I do, you want to have a public slider. I wouldn't use this for any like game or anything. It's just so I can demonstrate the easiest way. You could also use that input field or whatever. And this is where you're going to put your You're not going to do this if you're not using a slider or anything like that. Equals max health. So that's the right one. And then we want, okay, so what we're doing is I will just go over this in a second, so you can just write this down. As I already talked about the divide range, we're just getting a max value, so If you change your max HP, it will update it. And the minimum value will always be 0. So, I mean, that's kind of all it is. Updates, I would say updates not being good. And I'm wondering whether or not that's true, because in my way, I do actually. I say mine twice, but it's fine for it. I'm probably gonna say text. Oh, this went text health. I see. Okay. And we're gonna say dot text is equal to text health HP. Sorry. Okay. Because text health is a text. So when you're accessing a text, you can't actually just access the text, because the text is a game object essentially. What you want to do is you want to access the component of it, which is called text, which is why that seems really weird. If you're using Visual Studio, as always, format your document. Just it will fix up errors. You could also close and reopen it, and I say line endings are a bit weird. It's a bit weird because it's all behind the scenes work, but it's just the difference because it kind of has a mixture, and it will go if you. It doesn't matter even if you're running Mac OS ones and you want to run the game Windows, it will be still fine. It doesn't change anything. So let's continue. So what we're going to is we can get the mask, and then we're going to get the rect transform. Then so not just the normal transform, we can get the RECT, the rect. Then we can get the local scale. And we're going to get a new vector 2. And we can get the divide range, and we're also going to get 1. Oh, you need vector 2. Yep, that's kind of obvious, but I just want like an explain. Okay, so we want vector 2, which essentially is just x and y. A vector 3 is x, y, and z, and vector 4 is rotation as well. So the thing is, the local scale, even though it's a vector 3, right, we can use vector 2, because if you use a smaller vector, it will just classify everything that would normally be used as 1. So this is still recording it as a vector. It's just saying the z isn't being touched, which is why I kind of want vector 1. So we're just getting divide range and 1. So it means the it won't ever be touched, whatever it's called. So we could also change this to a like a slider function. So whenever your sliders change, you do this. So it's not constantly updated, but it doesn't really matter since it's a small application. But I mean, that's like some small things that you probably could do. And now this is something that's probably different than you've ever seen. That's right, if I do it, is greater than 0.25 times max HP. So what we've done here is we're basically doing percentages. So 0.6 is, we're basically saying if HP is less than 60% of max HP. Which, instead of just saying 60, because, I mean, if max HP is going to be 150, you don't want that, you know, so it will always work on 60% of your HP, which is about what I want, right? So you got to change these values for yourself. So the best way to get the thing is just imagine it being 10. So 0.25 is actually 25%. You know, 6 is 60%, so it's, you know, times by 100. And you should be fine. And then what you want to do is we want to get the health bar. And we get the sprite of the health bar. And we want to say, okay, that is equal to bars 1. We're also actually going to push this down a bit because in my thing I did, I kind of did a bit weird. So what you're going to do is this, you know, equal to 20.25 times max HP. And it's going to say health bar dot right is equal to bars 0. So what we're basically doing is we're just getting the sprite and we're just changing the sprite color. You could also do the sprite color. Sorry, I didn't mean the sprite, but yeah. So instead of saying dot that, you'd go dot color. and you say okay is equal to color dot black whatever. But we won't access the sprite because there's not like a really orange, and it was just, yeah. So as usual, so I'm just going to do this. So this is, that's mid, and this is end, which is greater than 0.6 times max HP. Make sure you have a greater than. If you have a greater than, you need a greater than, less than or equal, vice versa. So you always need to actually have it, because if it reaches that point where there's, if I didn't have this equal sign here, this equal sign here, if it ever got to 0.25, it just wouldn't do anything, which you could argue is fine. But if it was snappy, it could go from green to 0.25, 25 health, from 100 health to 25 health in an instant, and it wouldn't update, because it would go, I guess, So you just gotta make sure that those little things are fine. Even if it's like a float variable and it's like gonna be such a long number, you're never gonna reach that. You just want to be safe. And the max HP is just going to be the same thing. Now it's going to say 2. If can die, then HP is less than or equal to 0. Which in mine, you can't have less than 0 HP, but I mean, I'm sure you could set it. Especially if you use a game. You don't need to have the else statement with the brackets. You can just have an else statement, but else statement with brackets means that if I was to add something below it, it would still work. This is only if you're using what I'm doing. If you're just going to say die, then you just remove this function and just go, okay, die, and just go die function. Maybe restart the scene or whatever. That's all the code. That's all of it. Every last bit of it. So now let's put it into the scene. Now I'm going to create an empty called scripts. And I'm going to, that's the one. I'm not used to, what's one we want? Health bar, that's it. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, well we want 3 view, and we'll turn about, actually we'll do outlines too right now. So outlines, you just can't do it below. And you just go, okay, well outline dot sprite is equal to outlines 0. And you can obviously just copy this down. And this switches to 1. And this switches to 2. So I'll let you have a look at this just for a second, check you've done your code right. The big things is make sure that this is rect transform, make sure this is local scale, make sure this is vector 2, if you're vector 3 just do another 1, like that. So if you want to kind of pop out you, but it's UI so it's 2D so it can't pop out really. So let's do it. So what you want to do is we want to add 3 sprites, and I got mana, I just built it, but I mean I'm not going to do it. So how it's set up is 0 is like the lowest, so it's red, orange, green. Is how I want it to go. And then for the outlines, I want to have the same thing. I want to have green as the biggest one, red is in that, so red is there, and then outline is the middle. And then text health is just that little health component that we had before. It's just how much health you have. Health bar, this is going to be image bar. Outline is going to be also the outline. Mask is just going to be mask. Max HP we're going to set to 100. Dead we're going to set to the text element. And we'll say you can die. Oh, we have selected a slider. So you see now? So is that set up? So if we want to change it, I'll show you what we do. We're going to call one, and we're going to call this empty HP, just so we can copy and paste all of this. So we copy and dip and say if we want this to be mana. So what we do is we'd create another one. And we'd create another one there. I would call this health bar. And we'd have another slider. So it'd be a second slider. We'd store 3 bars, still 3 outlines, store text, store a health bar, but we can't die, so we don't need to have a dead thing component. Though I don't know how it treats it. Sometimes it still wants it, even though you don't need it. Max HP we say 150, and we'll say this can be mana, like that. It shouldn't matter because it will change at the start, but we'll do it now. We're going to put it against the corner and then shrink it just because we kind of want it to pop down a little bit. And it should pop down to the layer before. Okay, next we want a health bar, which is obviously kind of obvious, which is bar, which is mask, which is into outline. And then we want our outline, which is going to be image, and then we want our mask, which is going to be mask. And then that should be it. Then we want our 3 things, which is just going to be mana bar full, mana bar empty, also mana bar enriched, and mana bar full. So the system is kind of, if you ever type something like, I don't know, I don't know. Got a little doggy here. Hello, little guy. He's looking after another person's dog. He's just waking up. He's a bit bitey. But yeah, so what should happen now is it should all fix itself. So we should be able to open this up, and it will fix. And we should be able to adjust our mana. This is obviously not wide enough. There you go. So we have our mana, which we'll adjust and save this. I really do suggest putting them into things like this. Make sure you do that. That's really important. Because without it, if like, the image mask, if the bar is outside of it, for example, like here, see how it like mucks up? It's just how it works. Okay. It's just the video. I don't know how long that took, but that took a little while. Thanks for watching. Obviously, I mean, okay, I'll change the colors. So I don't know what we have this to, but we'll just do it for effect. And put an outline on these. There we go. So but we'll update anyway. There's that weird color changing. Yeah. So thanks guys for watching. The code will be on the GitHub. I'll probably put it up. Right now a lot of my code's on a private repository, and I'm moving a bit of it over. So we'll be calling this final health bar. Thanks guys for watching.